So they could have operations in different countries. So that way they have exposures to different types of currencies. So that way they may want to have a certain strategy in which they can hedge their positions across this broad band of currencies, I would say. And of course, I mean, whenever we do any kind of FX rate analysis, especially for conglomerates, there's one idea of correlation which we always study. So why correlation? Because FX rates are always related in some way or the other with each other. So if you take two FX rates, you'll find some way in which they are related. So that's what we try to do via a correlation analysis. Therefore, so from a risk management idea, we know that if we can study the correlation correctly, and if we have certain currency pairs which are negatively correlated with each other, then that overall basket of currencies, I would say, so maybe a group of currencies, we can technically call them as basket. Then but that basket of currencies may have the potential to minimize the portfolio level volatility, because finally for any conglomerate, although they may be having operations in different countries and different currencies, finally they have to report everything, or they'll analyze everything on a portfolio wide level. So that's why we talk of basket of currencies, and whenever that word basket of currencies comes in, the idea of correlation always has to be there. So, and all of us know, and for correlation, we have a correlation coefficient which we depict as rho in order to do our analysis. So something similar gets applied for a multi-currency basket as well. Now, there are a few ways in which we can manage the multi-currency exposures. So, especially if you're talking from an FX options perspective. Now, one is to hedge each of these currency exposures individually. That is, take a separate option position for each of the individual currency exposures which you hold, and that way you're set and you're handling every single exposure separately via an individual option designated for that, and you're able to mitigate the risk. But the problem with this approach, although it may sound extremely convenient, this is a very expensive strategy, because when you say you're purchasing options to hedge individual exposures, so let's say you have 10 currency exposures on the book, and if you purchase 10 separate options, then that is going to get expensive, because every option which we purchase, that is going to require us to make a certain premium payment, because we know the mechanism of options. If we, now here in this case we are the option buyer, so option buyer is expected to make a premium payment to the option seller. So that way those 10 options are going to require us to make payments on each of these options. So that way the amount of premium outlay is going to be huge, or the cash outflow could be large, something which a company may not want to do. The other option could be to purchase an option on a basket of currencies, or what you call as a basket option. So this is one of the structured option varieties which are available in the market, and this is comparatively cheaper as compared to using individual options as we have done in step one. So a basket option could be a cheaper way of managing this. And again, for looking at the proper structure for a basket option, a correct level of correlation analysis is expected, because this idea is going to impact the way in which the basket option is going to behave. Now, another option which is available is to use Asian options. So we are familiar with European and American options, which we have discussed in our earlier topic reviews. We have spoke of Asian options in our review on exotic options. So Asian options are something which can come to our rescue again, because here the average exchange rate during the year can be used for computation of the option payoff. So again, this could be another cheaper alternative. So these are a few ways in which a multi-currency exposure could be hedged using options. And whenever we look at a conglomerate, they would always try their best in order to reduce the overall cash outlay which they do on such options, and they would try to manage the risk in the cheapest way possible. That is, they would try to reduce the amount of premium outflows, so that that protects their profits.